Is that better? Yeah, I got your leg in it. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Tried to sneak it in. She didn't trust me. I just wanted the great people of YouTube to know that you're not AI.
I'm not AI.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sitting and talking with me this morning.
Sure. More than happy to sit.
So what name are you going by these days? You've had a lot of names in your life.
Just two.
Well, I recall the Thibodeau, Vincent Thibodeau, I think was one that you were
It was a
using.
painting alias, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sales went up in New Orleans. People like to buy from Vincent Thibodeau, not Robert Sutton.
So what are you painting or working on nowadays?
Well, I haven't painted in about a year. Yeah. A Putin Dick painting was my last, I think, brush to canvas. And I've been very busy trying to not starve, even though I'm eating delicious pastry right now, free of charge by my interviewer.
Well, what are you planning on painting then?
Pittsburgh.
You mentioned in a conversation recently
And some contemporary art.
something about penguins and Pittsburgh.
I don't want to let this out of the bag so soon. Yeah. I'm going to do studio paintings of Pittsburgh, but instead of putting people in the paintings, which was majorly missing in my New Orleans work, it looked like some sort of horror show with no people in New Orleans on my paintings. But I don't like people in my scene paintings, so I'm going to do penguins.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Have there been any areas of the city that you are drawn to that you think you'll be painting in sort of first?
I don't want to give all my secrets away. I'm going to paint where the money is to start, because poor people don't buy paintings.
So when did you, if you recall, paint your first painting?
Well, if we're talking about oil painting, because I don't remember my finger paintings, it was when I was 13 and I bought a Bob Ross kit from a art store just down the street in Duncansville.
Do you remember what you painted?
I still have the painting. It's upstairs.
Oh. Was it a sort of nature scene then?
It was a Bob Ross. Actually, I think the painting kit was William Alexander, but they kind of, I don't know, they did the same kind of thing on PBS for a while. But William was, older and chubby and not so peaceful.
So you've just been interested in painting and drawing since you were young?
Oh, it was because I have a personality disorder, and I was rewarded because I'm a talented draftsman. So it was an easy way to get attention. Look at that amazing drawing he did. He's only 8 years old. And it felt good, so I kept doing it.
So will the paintings that you do now be just primarily of Pittsburgh, or you mentioned some contemporary?
Yeah, I have these images of some assholes, figures. Elon Musk and Vladimir Putin, which was my last painting that I did. Not finished yet, and I hope that the surprise doesn't get revealed. But I'm going to incorporate an Andy Warhol element into my Vladimir penis painting. Should rocket through YouTube.
So you've been in Pittsburgh now for about 6 years. You're not originally from here, but you are from Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania originally.
Yeah.
What are some of the differences you've noticed between where you grew up in central Pennsylvania versus being here in Pittsburgh?
The people, mostly, and the terrain.
How are the people different?
I don't want to offend anyone's central PA. No, they wouldn't be offended. They relish in it. There's more sophistication in Pittsburgh than in Altoona.
And the terrain's more mountainous?
Here, yes, much more hilly, which is an appealing factor in my return here, because after painting New Orleans for a decade, it was all way too flat, and I shouldn't have done as many, I guess, plein air paintings, because it's too flat, and can get boring. I like mountains and perspective, and if you want to get any different kind of perspective in New Orleans, you have to get in a skyscraper, or whatever you call the tall buildings that don't qualify as skyscrapers, tall building. But aside from that, it's like the levee, and you got 14 feet. So 14 feet, you can get a little perspective, but it's flat.
So you mentioned that your early experiences with drafting or painting kind of, were more, it sounds like, extrinsically motivating because of the feedback that you were getting, the positive kind of reinforcing, compliments and whatnot. Do you think that that's kind of really been what's continued to motivate you, or do you have some inspiration in painting?
No, the comments dropped off quite a bit whenever I went to plein air painting, because the vast majority of people that walk up on you while you're plein air painting, especially in the middle of a painting, can't tell how good the painting is, or how difficult it is to paint on site from start to finish.
Do you find the act though of that particular kind of painting very inspiring, or what is it?
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's a challenge. You get there, you never know what you're going to do, but there's like constraints within it. There's methods in the painting, but seemed like something that it would be like other people would have an interest in, because I don't know how many people are going to be interested in my Putin penis painting, even though I think it's really great and think it should sell for 20 grand. The market's much smaller for that than a pretty painting of Pittsburgh for $200.
So you have a pretty diverse range between plein air paintings and then paintings that are featuring sort of powerful world
dicks
leaders.
Yeah.
Anything sort of in between there that you're thinking about that may be inspiring to you?
I had an early interest in surrealism, and I also got quite a bit of compliments, quite a few compliments from that too, because of the realism element. You have to be a good draftsman, to be a surrealist. Otherwise, you're a sur-impressionist or sur-abstraction. I don't know. It's just like, surrealism still has the realism element in it. It requires a lot of technical skill, but I don't know if it's just dead because of AI, and you can just speak a few words into a computer and it'll pull images from all of the internet and make your surreal image.
Not supported on this device. View your photos using the Amazon Photos app or website, or on devices.
Because
Computer, stop talking.
So speaking of AI and that whole new kind of interaction with art. It sounds like you have not kind of explored doing that with your own art, or do you have any interest in utilizing some AI to maybe create some new work?
I thought about using AI to make products, merchandise, you know, because doing graphic designs for each individual T-shirt that I design would be a lot of work if I were going to do graphics on a shirt. But I don't know. There's something about it I don't like. You know, it just doesn't seem right to make a graphic image with just words. Seems like it's not all you.
Definitely blurs the line.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't excite me, especially it almost, I guess, depresses me, because surrealism still did have some interest. You know, I still have interest in it, and now that it's possible for anyone to just say 4 words together and have a computer make a surrealistic image. It just.
So what is exciting you about the field and your work?
Of painting.
Yeah.
Well, it's still challenging, you know. I don't think it'll ever not be a challenge. It's hard to do. Unless you fall too much into stylization, and then you're not learning. But it's a challenge, you know. What you can represent on a canvas with the lightest value white and the darkest value, you know, black and umber, it's not the range that your eyeball has. So there's always going to be a challenge of taking a scene and taking a feeling that you get from a scene and trying to put it on a canvas as a representation.
So you find things that are challenging and hard to be exciting?
Not all.
Well,
you know,
within the paintings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Or are these things just challenging and hard?
Well, they're less difficult now than they were. I mean, I have a much firmer grasp of technique and color theory and value and perspective than I did when I was 13. But I don't think that's exactly why I read it. I like it. It's fun getting out there. It's fun creating a thing and have an object. That's another thing about the AI stuff. It's like you create this image and there's no object. You know, it's a digital thing. You can make it an object by having it printed, but it just seems like I don't know. I'm sure there's people that are going to make the images and then do paintings of the images that they get.
Well, it also brings to mind the recent inquiry that you had regarding your works and interest in NFT, that component. So can you
Somebody
speak to that a little bit?
Somebody offered to buy my Pittsburgh plein air painting, which actually isn't a plein air painting. I did that in the studio. It just looks like it. Offered to buy as an NFT, and he said I was missing out on millions if I didn't sell my work as NFTs. And I'm just not interested in non-fungible tokens attached to my work.
You'd rather have the millions after you're dead?
Oh, I think it's bullshit. I don't think that there is millions in making NFTs of my work. No, I want to make millions now. Yesterday. No, actually, decades ago. I'm tired of Being poor, yeah.
So what keeps you in it then? If it's not been,
I can't get any other jobs. Yeah, that I'm interested in. Sure, I can work in a factory making pillows, or at the Coke Works, but I applied at all the jobs that interested me here, and one company got back to say no. Everybody else didn't say anything. And then the funeral home, which I was really excited about because I love dead people. They're the best kind of people. Yeah, but the owner and the funeral director, they're all psychos, and lied to me going in about how much money I would make. So they said for every dead person I get I get $100, and that it averages 2 hours. And I started working for them full time, and I said I don't like this average for my work because it leaves open a huge opportunity for exploitation. So I said I'll do removals for $36 an hour, which if they average 2 hours is less money. But they didn't take it, and so they decided to go a different route.
And you're going a different route with this new website that is an update from your previous sites where you were selling work. And tell us a little bit about the different things that you're exploring in terms of creative endeavors on your new site.
Well, I've had an Etsy site for 14 years, and I sold some original paintings on it, but was disappointed with the amount that you could get on Etsy for originals. And then I tried to do bead bugs, meet these little, while I was on the road painting, so I could at least have some stream of income coming to pay for gas. And my minivan got broken into in New Orleans, and they stole my bead kit, so I couldn't do that. So I just let Etsy on the side for a while. But seeing as I got let go from the funeral home, my dream job, and I don't want to go back to Hobby Lobby or the liquor store, and I can't Uber or Lyft because they've banned me.
You have this shop, or
well, I tried
site.
that Etsy shop. Yeah,
But you have a new site. Yeah, that's not Etsy since that.
Well, it spawned from Etsy.
Yeah.
Etsy's
Yeah, so
decision.
tell us about that and what.
Well, I was getting there. Of like how I got to this new shop. So I started my Etsy shop back up, and put some originals on it, and did research about making money. And I was just planning on using Etsy as a confidence booster for the locals to buy my paintings, because if they see other people have bought paintings, your customer's more likely to have confidence that nobody wants to be the first one, or only the few. They want to, what is it, Robert Smith song, jump in someone else's train. Everybody wants to jump on the train. They don't want to build the train, right? So I found out about print on demand, which I had already been doing print on demand for 10 or 12 years through Fine Art America, but it's been, crickets there mostly. I mean, I get a couple sales a year, residual, but and I think it's a really great site. You're supplying the original images, and then they put it on all kinds of products, and not really interested in the products there, and you can't eliminate them, but you can get prints on canvas, on wood, on acrylic, on framed with different mats, and the customer gets to arrange it right for their spot. I just really think it's been a great thing, but it just never took off. I was in a gallery in the French Quarter and tried to get the owner on board with it, and told him that I give him 50%, but anyway, my shop. So Etsy banned me because I made a little coffee mug with autistic, you are just as weird to us, which somebody complained. My shop doesn't have a lot of traffic, so I'm assuming somebody that went to my website, went to Etsy, and had, that's reported me for hate speech, claiming that calling autists and normal people weird is hate speech. But Etsy just banned me. They didn't tell me the reason why. And pretty frustrating because when I started Etsy, they had this many customers, and now they have this many customers, and I thought, well, I have history with Etsy, and I could use them for their search engine and their shopping base. But I got banned within a week without a fucking sale, so fuck you, Etsy. And
So now you just are gonna have your site?
yeah, I got a Shopify site because my old website, suttonart.com, it doesn't have good search engine optimization, and I have it's complicated, I don't know, but I just figured it would be better to buy a new domain, start fresh, and you can't do your own kind of code within Shopify. It's all through, so I can't mess it up. I like that. And yeah, it's not that expensive, and I can sell
All these,
hate speech on it.
well, yeah, so what all are the different kinds of products there, or that they want to have?
Well,
you're
I'm
thinking about?
mostly my art. Ideally, it would just be my art that's selling, and hopefully, I get to that point. But I also like the idea of, whenever I met you 6 years ago, if you recall, I had all these shirts with crazy sayings on it. They're starting to fade out. This isn't a crazy saying shirt, but I liked expressing yourself with short phrases on shirts or images that are funny or provocative. So it's not that I want to become like a clothing brand, but products that you have to have. You have to have a mug. It's not like it's not frivolous garbage, shit that's going to end up in the landfill without being used. If you buy a mug, you're going to use it. If you buy a shirt, you're going to wear it. It's going to wear out. It's not like, and I'm focusing on green products. My shirts are all organic cotton, and I'd like to not have to be pressured to make art to pay my bills. So I'd like to have something that has a passive income to buffer the times that painting sales go up and down, even for the best people. It's not constant. And your work ebbs and flows too. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's so to have a product or products that will fill that gap is nice. Because I can't do Uber to do that, or like Uber's really even worth it to do. It's $10 an hour. Pretty horrible, but the flexibility is awesome.
Great. Well, thanks so much for talking with me about.
No, thank you for talking with me. I was not expecting this long of an interview. Holy crap.
Was there anything else you'd like to say in closing?
Like and subscribe. 23 minutes.